Hey, what is going on guys? Today I wanted to show you a loadout I've got for the brand new Peacekeeper gun inside of COD Mobile. For this video I'll be going through the attachments in the loadout of course first and showing you guys what each attachment does and all that stuff. The Peacekeeper is a little bit unique. It doesn't share the attachments with the rest of the game. Most of them are just flat buff ones instead of the buff and nerf ones, so that is pretty interesting. After that I'll go through a few options for playstyle with this loadout and with this weapon. The last thing I'll kind of talk about is just how good I think the gun is and where it fits into the current meta. But before we get into all that, we are really getting close to that huge 1k goal, so please do hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Also, happy new year guys, and hopefully 2021 is a good year, a better one than 2020, and without further ado, let's get into the video. So this guys is the loadout overall. I'll leave it there for a couple of seconds just so you guys can look at it. So yep, the first attachment is the rapid fire barrel, and this is kind of the key to this loadout. So of course you guys know SMGs are fast rate of fire and close range damage weapons. So if you want to turn this into an AR and SMG hybrid, this is the attachment to go. This will increase your time to kill at close range by quite a lot because it's a damage and a fire rate boost. So obviously that's what we're going for with this loadout. The next one, the aim assist laser. So obviously, visible laser sights in multiplayer are not that much of a disadvantage because you can kind of see everyone anyway, since you have those red lights on your shoulder and I think on your helmet and the chest as well. So we're not really too worried about the visible laser sight, and obviously more accurate guns is better. This gun is not going to be a fantastic performer at long range, but you do want a bit of an edge if you can to just compensate for that damage drop off that you've lost a bit. The next one is the Field Agent foregrip. So this gun has a lot of recoil, especially side to side. So, oh, sorry, I just have to close this one for now. We do want to reduce as much recoil as we can. It is a bit bouncy. I do think that's one of the major detractions from this weapon. So 10% vertical recoil and 40% horizontal recoil is a great buff to take. The ADS movement speed we're not too worried about because the mobility on this gun is honestly pretty good, especially when you compare it to something like the ASM-10. Obviously, okay, that might be a bad comparison because that gun more than makes up for it, but it is a faster feeling assault rifle, I would say. The double stack magazine is a good one. Honestly, both of these choices are pretty good. So 7 magazine capacity with no detractions is great, or no debuff. But what I've chosen to go for is the 10% magazine capacity and the reload time as well. 8% ADS time is not that bad a loss. It does kind of suck, but you won't feel it too much. And with these two buffs, you'll be, especially at close range, when there's lots of enemies coming at you, you can be in the fight constantly and, reloading and ducking behind cover and stuff. You can be straight back up and shooting at the enemies quicker. And the last attachment? Last attachment is the firm grip tape. So minus 25% ADS time is huge. That will let you snap aim to your enemies really quickly. We like that with SMGs, and that's one of my favorite things about SMGs is that because they're modeled to simulate feeling lighter, you can aim at your enemies really quick and you can start shooting them faster. That rounds it out for the attachments itself, and now of course I'll be showing you guys some actual gameplay for the gun and this setup. So the real strengths of this setup is the close range time to kill and the mobility, so those are the strengths you want to be playing to. So the way you do that is to mainly just get up in their faces and just be moving around a lot. Use all the movement skills you've gotten from your pro gameplays and scrims or whatever. No, I'm kidding, but use whatever movement you know. I like to jump slide a lot. That's one of my favorites, or slide jump rather. Anyway, I'm getting a bit mixed up, but anything you can do to close the distance between you and the enemy gives you more of an advantage. At long range, this gun with the setup is actually surprisingly stable in terms of recoil. I find that it's not too hard to control now, but the problem is the damage drop off, of course, from that barrel is quite a lot. So if you were to build it differently, not like an AR/SMG hybrid, you could maybe take more fights at long range if you were to build a low recoil setup. If you guys really like this gun and you want me to do that too, I probably could. This is a surprisingly versatile weapon, but anyway, I'll leave that for another video if we decide to do that. The main thing with this kind of hybrid loadout is that you don't need to fear SMGs at close range, but you can still reach out and touch enemies from a little bit further away than a gun like the QQ9 or the Fennec sort of thing, so it gives you both options either way, which I really like. In terms of just how good it is and where this gun fits into the meta, while I do think it did actually become slightly underrated, a lot of people just sort of cast it off initially when it got released into the full game, not the test server. I do think it was actually better then. It might have been adjusted, but a lot of people kind of just brushed it off. There was too much horizontal recoil and stuff, and that's kind of understandable, especially with how strong the 3-shot kill assault rifles are right now. It is really hard for anything to compete, so you probably can't quite challenge those weapons seriously. It's definitely still viable in ranked, but if you want to be really min-maxing and really go going like full sweaty tryhard mode, you probably do need to run one of the ASM10 or DRH or something like that. I do believe there is a balance patch coming very soon, so this might change all of that, and hopefully this gun will be a little bit better then. I'm a big fan of it. I think the animations are cool, especially the reload one. It feels a bit more like a console or PC COD. It's nice to see that they're working on those sort of things. Overall, I would say while this gun does suffer a little bit from the actual damage values and it doesn't hit quite as hard as we might want, it's a very solid and also a very easy to use weapon. So if you're new to the game, it's a high rate of fire but relatively low recoil gun. It's a bit like the HVK on release before it became super OP with the OWC stopping power or whatever, but I would say a little bit better than that version, than the old version of the HVK, and maybe even the current one, guys. So do try this loadout, do tell me whether you like it or not, and do tell me whether you want more of these sort of videos though. But that is all I have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one.